That sound of dusting off, it feels like I'm doing a video episode of this podcast as well. The dusting off is the shoulders. It seems like I've got a heap load of shit around the pockets of my pants and generally around the shoulders. That's what happens when you got young kids and they know you're strong enough to carry them, so they expect you to carry them all the time. And I generally have two in my hands and then one hanging off my foot, and I'm trying to walk around. And I always look, and then it's hard. I love these shirts. These are phenomenal shirts. Obviously, if you're listening to this, you can't see it, but our special edition High Performance Father shirts. It's crazy because of the black. I just look and there's always some sort of white smear or shit or banana or porridge or something. Nonetheless, let's dive right into it. Enough about my problems with my clothes that generally don't last more than 3 months because of the kids. Here we are. The only fad you should invest in. This is a really powerful episode where, with all the chaos, the whirlwind of life, and you are the creator of that whirlwind, but also you're someone who can harness that. So this is always about responsibility. Please understand, responsibility is a very powerful thing. The more that you take, first and foremost over yourself, not over others. This isn't about power trip, ego, or control over things that are outside of yourself, but the more responsibility that you take in, one, your internal thoughts, feelings, emotions, belief systems, two, your internal into the external world actions in how you not only portray who you are and express that energy, but the actual physical actions that you take. And three, your perception. So how you're receiving external actions coming into your life, whether it's with the missus, with the kids, having fights, different temperament, different transitions, like your temperament and nature and transitions from work to home in the kitchen, the bedroom, the bathroom, nighttime, daytime, all the moving parts comes down to how you're perceiving and seeing the world and how you're seeing others influence energy and actions towards you. Please understand, like we dive deep into this stuff. Yes, we do, but it's a very simple approach. When I'm talking about energy expressions, actions, internal, external, it's all fucking real. You know that. Like this is never going to be, and I love that there's lots of support groups and things for men and all that sort of stuff. That's awesome. Keep that rolling, keep it going. But for us, it's about diving deep into the key areas that a man needs as a father, husband, and a member of society to move forward and win and move into the second half in life and win. What does win mean now? Well, it means having a higher expression of energy and a higher level of meaning and purpose in life than the resistance and the bullshit that life, the universe, and the world throws at you. You're not going to get that, mate, when you're continually moving forward with such a low level approach, which is why the point of this episode, the only fad that you should invest in, is helping you understand 3 critical areas. The message is always the same, but how can I position myself to help you position yourself differently to seeing the same fucking thing I'm seeing? If you can see the world through my eyes, man, you will win. I'm not saying my way has to be the only way, but our way is the way if fathers like yourself want to get in front and win. It's proven, there are runs on the board, the history and data is there, but also it continually evolves and expands where you only need to dive back 50 episodes. We're up to, I think, nearly 120 in our podcast. Go back to episode 50, go back to episode 1, and you'll see how much I've changed in the last few years. And when you have this exponential growth inside of your life, one, that becomes attractive, but two, what that does is it gives you a level of expertise, runs on the board, but also a level of leadership, because leadership is a measurement after the fact. You're not a leader in the moment. You're a leader when you look back and go, fuck, man, have a look what I was up against and where I came from and how much I've grown. Like this is someone who had some pretty horrific challenges in his life where my life was heavily accelerated through my 20s. And then before that in my teens, being heavily overweight, depressed, bullied, picked on, hating life for lack of a better term. Coming through and feeling very old and aged already, it's something that I love to help others see that, you know what, you have your story too. This isn't to take away the hardships you're going through, but you're not the problem, man. You're the solution. So when we do this in a way that's going to help you position yourself to go, well, fuck, Al is right. It's not an opinion. It's history, it's data, it's a level of coaching. We're here to coach. I'm coaching you right now. The coaching is here. And it's phenomenal. I get so many emails from a lot of you guys who I've never even met in person, whether it's even getting our supplements. And that's the kickstart to get your sleep back together and get your shit together. So you got some sleep, some good energy, and something that's rejuvenating your nervous system and your immunity. Awesome, mate. That's so cool. Like I love that stuff. It's unreal. This isn't about, hey, who's going to come on our inner circle? And, we got a team of 7 in our platinum group. Unreal. Awesome. That's great. I love that stuff. And they work one-to-one with me, and we're going to do workshops in person. Obviously it varies depending on the restrictions and challenges we have with a lot of the other shit forced onto us at the moment. But really, this is about providing a pathway for men just like you, even if I never even meet you or see you, to get out of your own way, move forward and find the path, your path, which aligns with, like I said, seeing the world, or at least having me influence, not an opinion, but help influence you to see the world the way that you can. And when I talk about the world, I'm talking about your world, man. Like this is your world and your reality. Don't forget that your family, right? They're not shackled to you. They're a part of you and your reality. Your family wouldn't exist if your consciousness wasn't present to observe them. It's so black and white. So this isn't an opinion. So whilst it's not solipsism where the entire universe revolves around you, you're the only one being in the entire, in the entire cosmos. It's not about that, but it's about recognizing that everything you're connected to externally is connected to you because of who you are and who you are internally and how you represent yourself in your world, which takes us into the fad. I talk about fads a lot and them being bullshit, silver bullets, quick fixes, shiny objects, whatever terminology you want to use. Something that really is a band-aid approach to mask the cause and just treat symptoms inside of your life. Perfect example, do a 28-day challenge, do keto, do paleo, go and join a gym and do a 30-day program where you're doing fucking 1,000 burpees a day, whatever it may be. I'm not saying they're wrong, but what I'm certainly addressing here is that is something external and superficial from which can be coupled to your arsenal as a line of attack to you go, this is the old version I'm shedding, this is the new version I'm becoming. So it can be a tool on the old tool belt. It can be something that is part of your arsenal, part of your makeup when you're going to war against the older version of yourself, when you are going to war against the life that's pushed upon you, the energies of the universe that challenges you. The whirlwind, like I said before, the chaos of the storm that you're in at times, a lot of the times when you can really create a level of maneuverability around it, you actually become the master of that storm and it becomes a good thing. It drives you, right? Not fear of failure. I was phenomenally successful in sport and many other areas through a fear of failure, but I was left empty and with a big void in my life, which led to a breakdown in my marriage, my relationships with myself, my family, those I cared about, and my business. All of it, all of the above, family, self, and service. It's a love for greatness. And, when we're looking at this and it's all said and done, it comes down to how well you can handle your shit, which comes from a deeper level of who you define yourself as, with three key components in this. This is the only fad that you should actually invest in. And this is obviously an acronym, which we're going to dive into right now. So when I'm talking about the other things, the silver bullet, the quick fixes, all that sort of shit, they will yield a result. But the level of energetic expression into your life is going to determine A, the depth of the result, and B, what kind of shift it really creates. Because what you're looking for every single year of your life, man, is a shift in identity. The 2020 Al is fucking dead. He's gone. It's just better or worse. He's gone. It's time of this, July 1st. Here we are, July 1st, literally into the second half of the year. I mean, maybe I should have done an episode around, welcome to the second half of the year, because this is pretty crazy, right? How fast it can go with all the chaos, all the shit in the world that's happening, and all the external pressures put on us. And a lot of them are driven from fear, which is why I don't agree with a lot of the mainstream narrative that I'm seeing at the moment, which makes me very frustrated and fucking angry. But then that's a split second thing where I pull back, right? And I go, okay, well, what can I control? Let's stand up for what I believe in, my rights, and let's control what we can control. And all of a sudden you have that homeostasis again, instead of being triggered just as easily as someone who might see one of my ads and is 3,000 kilometers away and gets triggered, or someone who gets cut off on the road and they get triggered, and start the road rage, right? This is about focusing on what you can control and diving deep into the core of where you want to go in the second half of 2021, because the version of you, fucking bang, 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 he'll be gone. 2022, 2023, 2028, 2038. This is the crazy part. If you're a father listening to this and you're entering or in the second half of your life, even if you're between 35 and 50, if you look at your life and what you've already used, if you use half of what you've already used, and this is a crazy perspective I learned from one of my members in Platinum. This is what I love about environment, right? That the dads teach me. They're constantly teaching me. They don't know it, but they're teaching me, because my skill set and my art as the alignment coach of our entire program, silver, gold, and platinum, is actually drawing the point A to B, using the reflective sounding board they give me to go, fucking boom, how do we look at this? How do we peel this back? How do we pull this apart? How do we reconstruct this? How do we help drive them forward? That's a very powerful thing, man, when that's all you focus on, which is why I love it. It's why I love what I'm doing, because I can see the patterns. I have the foresight and the vision, like I said, the perspective to see these men, where they're going, where they will go, where are the pitfalls. Let's get out of them. Let's navigate. Let's remove the roadblocks before they even know they're there. And they may never even know that these roadblocks were going to come and hit their life. That's our role, man. Like, that's real coaching. Let me remove the roadblocks that you can't even fucking see, but you will see if you keep going down this line, and I'm going to steer you 1 degree left to go down this line. I love that, man. Like, that jacks me up. It's not me tooting my own horn, but I'm certainly not going to sit back and tall poppy myself. I'm fucking proud of what I do and the ability and the skill set I have to help these men move forward in their life. If you're entering or in the second half of your life, all you need to do is look at your age and take half of what you've already used and apply that and ask yourself how old you are. If you're 40 right now listening to this, right here you are, right here, right now, in the car, at home, headphones, doesn't matter, in the rate, with using the speakers of the car, speakers at home, whatever. You're listening to this and you're 40 years of age. If you use half of what you've already used, right? It's pretty quick, right? Life goes quick. You're 40 years of age. You use half of what you already used, bang, you're fucking 60. If you're 48, right? 24. Right? When you start adding this up, you're like, shit, man, if I use half of what I've used, I'm 72 years of age. If you're 50, listen, we've got fathers well into their 50s. If you're 50 right now listening to this and you only use half of what you've already used, bang, you're 75 years of age. The average age is 82. That's half of what you've already used. So have a look at your life and how quick it's gone. It's slow, but it's fast, right? Because you're here, right here and now. 1,000 minutes a day racks up pretty quickly. Half of that. Even if you're 35, half of that, 17 years. Okay, bang, I'm in my 50s now. That's right. Are you divorced like fucking half of the country? Have you got your shit together with your family, with your wife, with your relationships? If that has broken down, it's a point of no return. No worries. What are you doing to rebuild who you are so you can build more connections with your children, whether you see them every day or not, with your wife or your partner or a new love of your life, with your family, with your work, with yourself, valuing yourself, seeing that you are worthy. Isn't it crazy? Here we are, 12 minutes into this episode, and we haven't even spoken about the fad. But this is the pre-framing, whatever word you want. This is me helping you position yourself to go, this is important. Yes, it is. This episode's important now. Yes, it is. Because what FAD stands for is focus, accountability, and direction. They are 3 incredibly powerful tools that you need to have in your corner. Focus, accountability, and direction. See, right now, if you're watching this on YouTube or listening to this, what you need to understand is whatever draws your attention quickly then becomes your point of focus. So attention is a powerful thing. And with a world that's so connected through technology and so fast, ultimately, the more and more we get tech savvy and the more and more exposure and saturation we have, to the point where literally a 12-year-old of today has seen more than an 80-year-old would have seen in his entire lifetime, not even 100 years ago. That's how crazy it is. Remember one of the fathers sharing that with me. If I find the stats, I just love it as a point of perspective. I'm not going to say that's absolute, but I want to find that stat because that's pretty crazy. But you listening to this or watching this, I'm sure you can see that, right? Imagine 100 years ago what an 80-year-old would have been through. Oh, man, he would have been fucking horse and cart in his old hometown. Definitely wasn't the internet. So I'd say it's even more. I'd say if you're 7 or 8 years of age today in today's world with the access to the internet, you've been exposed to more than someone of an entire lifetime, not even 100 years ago. That's crazy. So in a world like that today, guess what? Guess what the poverty is? Guess where the poverty lies? In attention. Attention and focus poor, which means whether it's internal distractions and you're not having your shit together and aligning that, or whether external interruptions, you are struggling and you're on struggle street because whilst you think multitasking is a thing, leave that for the women. They can have that if they're proud of that. It's fucking bullshit. You're actually frequently, sporadically, frantically, rapidly moving from one thing to another so fast where there's a breakdown in obviously the transition from stopping this and starting that, stopping this and starting that, where you don't have depth in anything. You have no depth, which means you have no focus. You have no focus or no attention to draw a better or a greater level of focus to be in line with what your most important thing is. So just to give you a rundown, because I'm all about transparency, we've been copied a lot of different programs and whatnot, copy Real Dad Movement and what we do in High Performance Father, and I'm humbled. Don't worry, guys. Like if you do that, or if you are a coach, if you're listening to this, Don't worry, in the future, we're going to have proper certification where we'll take you through and we'll show you how to do it the right way. I love it, and I'm humbled that you guys copy, model. I'm not going to say steal. I'm happy for people to take whatever they want. We are a collective of what we're exposed to, but ultimately, I'm happy to open up and share a lot of these different points for you guys to start to piece it together. At that stage, we've already moved forward. We've already evolved again. But when we're looking at the approach that we have, even with our championship journals, we've got our second version about to release. We've got 1,000 copies made where we're going to roll out a special edition of 100 because obviously the rest are for our internal members. For those externally, those who are non-members, mate, get excited. And if you want to go on the waiting list for this, email me, alex@realdadmovement.com.au. We've already had a very high demand. Out of that 100 we're going to have available, probably at least half are already gone. But anyway, nonetheless, hit me up if you want to go on the waiting list for this journal. But just to dive into that, focus. The very first thing, we use terminology like TAVs. What are your targets in family, self, and service? What are the actions you need to take? What are the 1 to 3 actions you need to take to hit the target? What's the version? Who must you become right now to implement those actions to hit that target? Or who will you become? If you can't think about that, if you're stuck or you've got a mind block and you can't think about that, no worries. Don't think. Just fucking take action, but visualize it. Well, who will I become when I take those actions and achieve that target? Well, what does that man look like? Because then it brings importance. Why is this important to me? Very simple. With these championship journals, awesome, tabs. And the tabs are broken down into MITs. What's my most important thing in family, in self, and in service for this week? Is my protein count adequate? You must have a great level of protein to start the day, because when you square that away, guess what? 90% of the shit that you pull into your nutritional regime gets sorted out in terms of hunger, withdrawals, your metabolic rate, creating a furnace of burning fat, in terms of your health, your immunity, your skeletal structure, all the different organs that utilize protein, as well as your muscles, all the moving parts, as well as your steps. Very key, simple things. You know, it's not, let's write fucking 10 paragraphs on what you're grateful for in life or all the other vanilla approaches of different journals. This is a high performance father championship journal where all you need to do is write 10 fucking words. What are your intentions? Track that and score yourself. We've got a great scoring system in there as well. What's your score? Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. When you bring that FAD, focus, accountability, direction, you actually get all three, but I'm focusing on the first one, focus. When you bring that level of focus, it then naturally rolls into accountability and direction, because guess what? You're applying your efforts. You're applying the two most valuable resources in your life to what the most important thing is in your life. I'll say that again. You are directing the most powerful things in your life, time and energy, to the most important thing in your life. Please don't underrate that, man. And don't underestimate the power of that as well. That compound effect is fucking massive. It's massive. Like the magnitude of change in your life. Like 2020, I thought I grew. I thought we built the foundation. I thought I improved, given all the circumstances, improved who I was, leveled up again, broke away from owning gyms, leveled up into the next stage of my life. But man, in 6 months, I've grown more in 6 months than I have in the last 3 years. And it's fucking amazing. You know, a massive portion of that was just using that championship journal. Why? Because it brought a level of focus into my life to then start to cast away the shit and the bullshit and the distractions that don't serve me. They don't serve me. To the point where my social media stuff on my phone here, I'll come in the office and I'll download them so I can use it for promoting our message, our vision, what we do, sharing our posts, all that sort of stuff, because it is fast and easy, convenient on the phone. Then when I leave the office, I'll delete those apps. Yes, it may seem like a pain in the ass. It takes me a minute and a half to download Messenger, Instagram, Facebook, and do all that sort of stuff on my phone. And it takes 30 seconds to edit screen, delete, delete, delete. But that's okay. It's worth it to me, because that 3 minutes investment to get that shit off my phone when I'm back home with the family yields at least 30 to 60 minutes of time back, let alone the mental distractions to pull away from my children, because I know I've got fast, easy access to it. I'm like, straight away, I'm like, I got to fucking download it again. I got to put my name, my password in again. That's not worth it. Don't worry about it. So then I don't think about it. This is the reason why I'm never going to digitize that championship journal. I can't. Because when I digitize it, guess what you're using it on? You're using it on a device and platform that has multiple uses. That fucking journal behind me right now has one use only. It is useless in any other area of your life except the sole and specific reason it was created and that it exists in the first place. What a powerful thing. Like, isn't that awesome? That's amazing, man. We forget that so quickly. That journal serves one purpose, one only. So guess what? When you're looking at it, it's got one fucking reason and one purpose behind you using it, looking at it, and applying it to your life. When you're opening it, when you're writing in it, when you're reflecting, when you're scoring yourself, one purpose, one reason, one purpose, one reason, which means you're channeling your focus into your most important things and using that as a real tool, as leverage, not this fucking phone as a tool of distraction. It's why we have our own apps. It's why we have our own ecosystem, our own environment. We don't use social media for our members either. We don't have Facebook groups, of our inner circle, and we don't use Messenger and all that sort of stuff. Not anymore. No way. So, like I said, I'm all about giving transparency and tactics and strategies around you for how you can apply this to your own life. And obviously, this is building a connection between you and me because I'm here helping you, and this will help you. This will move you forward. What you focus on becomes the pathway to your reality. I used to say what you focus on becomes your reality, and perception creates reality, because what you focus on starts to obviously alter, shift, and influence how you see things, which is why environment is critical. Being on the inside in our group, it's critical. Why we have such a great culture, because we can see that draws a level of focus, a level of attention, a level of perspective. It's not even 9 o'clock, hashtag rise to win, rise to win, rise to win. All these guys are posting pictures of their workouts, their food, their revelations, their family time, their work, their business, what they're doing, how they're getting in front. Awesome. It's amazing in a share, don't compare format. Like, it really is. We have that competitive nature and drive, but it's epic because what does that bring? It brings accountability. And this all rolls into each other: focus, accountability, and direction. So what you focus on builds the pathway to not only perceptions and how you see things, but what your reality not is, but can become, right? The possibilities. Again, good and bad. These are powerful tools. It can go one way or the other. If you focus on shit and you've got mates that are druggos and addicts and alcoholics, and for you to have an escape of your world, it has to be drinking every fucking weekend because you hate your job, you hate your life, and your 2 days is your little path of freedom outside of the prison to just get control back, and it's done in a way that's poisoning you and intoxicating you. Fucking well done, mate. As long as you're proud of yourself and you own that and you own how much that's limiting you as a human being, your potential capacity, no worries. That's your life. I'm not going to judge you for it. That's your freedom and your application of free will and what you want to apply to your life. No worries. Focus works good and bad, but it is the pathway. It is the gateway towards the reality that you can have. But how do we reinforce this, Al? Okay, I'm focused. I can get focused, but it comes and goes, doesn't it? Comes and goes. It's about applying the right level of accountability and then following that through with direction. So when you're focusing on something, your attention's being drawn. It's almost like one of our principles, true power: learn, do, reflect. So again, we're positioning it different ways, almost the same thing, but different positions to go, well, this is important for me. I need this in my life. Responsibility, yes, number one. Take ownership over yourself and your actions, but get that focus dialed in and get focused on things that are going to draw you into having a higher level of accountability. Now, when we're working with the platinum guys, they've got their very own aura rings where we're tracking their sleep, their heart rate variability, their readiness scores. We're tracking their data on how they're feeling, their fatigue levels, their energy levels, their mindset, their body shape, their compositions. We're doing blood work. We're doing DEXA scans. We're going fucking all in with these blokes. Like every iota, we're tracking their minerals, their vitamins. We've got a couple of other things that we apply to these fathers on a personal level that we help them with in their own physiology, their chemical makeups, and how we adjust their nutrition, how we adjust their training regimes, all of it. And then obviously we tie all of that into our mindset stuff. Can you see the level of accountability you have here when you've got the highest level of data and facts inside of your life? Like, either take the ring off and get on the piss all weekend and lie to my face and say, oh, I forgot to wear my ring. Or, and obviously that doesn't happen because the men who make it to that stage, they have to prove themselves to me. Like they do. This is very important. It's not a power play. I'm definitely not here to be on any pedestal, but this is the environment where I know if we trust and submit to the process, we must have that transparency and truth. We know where they're going. They will fucking win at the highest level. Family, self, and service. You can have all three. I've had great men before and old mentors tell me you'll only ever do two. You can only ever have two. That's fucking bullshit, with all respect to those guys. You can have all three. I'm living all three. We are living and breathing all three. Very hard, but possible. It's possible when you get the facts, because when you got the facts, guess what you've got? One, you've got focus on the type of data and where you should apply your efforts. But two, you've got accountability.
So not if, but when you fuck up, like we all do, like I do as well, you can actually track and measure and look back and go, oh man, I can see now, but I couldn't believe how much that's actually thrown me off a little bit, of course, with my sleep, with my readiness score, with my heart rate variability, with my health, my energy, my performance. I wish I had this when I was an elite athlete. Like I would have trained less and not as hard, and I would have known when to push. We're giving these men their scores to go push hard here, pull back there, go easy here, cruise there, apply a bit more there, more physical today, more steps today, less steps today, rest and recover, don't set an alarm, get more sleep. All the other moving parts that brings a level of accountability where they can start to see it themselves. Again, ownership, responsibility. Fad, the only fad you should invest in. Focus, accountability, direction. When you're starting to focus, you can start to see the path of where the most important areas, pieces of the puzzle of your life are necessary to apply time and energy, two things that you will never get back. You'll rejuvenate your energy. If you're listening to this, well done, mate. It's a miracle. You're still alive. You've got more time. But coupled together, the time that's passed with the energy that's passed, gone. You'll never get it back. Focus and accountability. So when we're taking accountability, it's not just accountability to me going, hey, did you do your back squats today? Like what we do is real coaching, the data and what we track and how we, and I'll do this another day because this is a podcast. I'm not here to do drawings and slow down and hear lots of different buttons where I'm clicking and doing screen shares. I will show that on some of our different YouTube episodes. But ultimately, when you see what we track, it's not about us just having the accountability of pushing that onto you. You're accountable to us and to yourself, but ultimately it's always to you. You are using us as leverage. The men on the inside are using me as leverage. Hell, you right here and now, you are using us as leverage because if you keep diving into my episodes, guess what? You should be accountable to the coaching, the words that we're speaking, what we're saying, not only with our HPF episodes, but with what I'm doing here and now. You're accountable to this because you're listening to then apply action. You're listening to then apply this to your life. Stay accountable. Just imagine and pretend I'm there, fucking tapping you on the shoulder. Hey, mate, I'm not a cheerleader with pom-poms. I'm not a Nazi cracking the whip. I'm on the level. How are we going? I'm on the level. Did you do what you said you would do? Where are we at? What do you need help with? Bang, bang, bang. When you have that accountability with data and the right data and tools, see, when I'm talking about the tools of focus, accountability, and direction, there are tools to get the tools. Focus isn't the most important thing in your life. Accountability isn't the most important thing in your life. Direction is not the most important thing in your life. The most important thing in your life is finding the tools to apply these important things in your life, right? I've got to have more focus out. Awesome. You know it's important. What's more important is the leverage and tools on how you can fucking do it. That's the power, man. And that's a big breakthrough I had only a few months ago where we upgraded and upgraded and upgraded our coaching program, our systems and processes, not just with how we track your data, how we help you have more focus with like the Championship Journal, how we help you have more accountability, how we help you have more direction. Because guess what? When you have focus and accountability and you track it in the key areas of life, connection to your family, creating space and time out for yourself, communicating and having clarity with your wife, with your children. What's your score? Out of 1 to 5, where do you score? Track the trends. Where is this man over the last 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks? Where are the dips? Why is there a dip? What do you need help with? What's happened in your life to create that dip? And then nourish, move, restore the body, your energy score, your circles of significance score, family, self, and service, performance. Did you do what you said you would do? When we're tracking key metrics and areas of your life, we're helping you stay focused. We're helping you with accountability, but this is where it becomes a full circle. Guess what we can then do? We can apply direction. Direction is very important. Otherwise, you're focusing on the wrong thing and you're accountable to the wrong things, the wrong metrics and the wrong measures. And this is where I don't have an issue being transparent and sharing all this stuff because even if people model, copy, steal, take, that doesn't matter. What we're doing is we're showing exactly what you need to move forward in the next area or the next phase of your life, whether it's a week, a month, a year, or a day. You can't copy that because it's always relevant to the man you're working with, which means you'll have your own people, your own tribe, your own friends, family, your own coach, your own coaching program, your own clients, whatever it may be, just like we have ours. Direction. We can give you pinpoint specific personal direction. It's why the system of what we do under RDM and our High Performance Father program, it's why the system works because the system itself is so personal and tailored to the man. So when you're getting focused, let's focus on the right things. When you're getting accountability, let's track and measure the right things in family, self, and service, and your connection score, your energy score, and your circles of significance, your performance score. Let's give you a tribe total as well. You don't let the team down. You don't let yourself down. Let's give you a personalized score. Where are you tracking? Are you a blue ribbon winner? Are you getting 85% and above? As a tribe, above 75%, that pushes us into the win zone. We're doing winter wars at the moment where it's epic. We have 3 mini challenges. We're not doing a 90-day challenge, too fucking long. 3 21-day challenges with a reset, with badges that we can earn, with different accolades for different fathers. Awesome. Game on, man. Let the competition begin. Team Mojo, Team Knight Rider. Who's going to win? 2 teams. Bang. Game on. So when we're doing this, what we have is the right accountability and direction because we're tracking the right things to bring the right level of investment of the man in himself. And that's what this always comes down to. Responsibility and investing in yourself. You are using me. You're using us, our full coaching team. I'm not a one-man band. You're using all of us, including the tribe, including these podcasts, if you're not on the inside, as the vessel for you to channel the action and changes physically and mentally that you need to apply to your life. Don't underestimate, don't underplay that, don't underplay yourself. You can't do that. Fuck tall poppying yourself. Fuck tall poppying syndrome. If someone's successful and it's not at the cost or detriment or malice or deceit of others, mate, awesome. Well done. If you're manipulating and you're being deceitful and it's out of the illusion of elevating yourself at the cost of pushing others down, you're a fuckwit and you deserve what you get and you will get what you get. But if you're moving forward in a light of love and transparency and who you want to be and how you stand up as a leader, your legacy looks after your children's and those around you. It's done. Like you create your own legacy with the ripple effect of love and nurturing, care and leadership of those around you, that all looks after itself. Focus, accountability and direction. Isn't it crazy? So simple, man. Every single father comes to me, is like, Al, I know what I need to do. It's so simple. What you're saying is the truth. It's this, it's that. I can see it. But I just can't apply it to myself. That's right. It's hard. I can't apply it to myself. Like I'm accountable to the men in the tribe. Like I'm here to serve them. Now people might look at it and go, Al's the head of this phenomenal movement and organization, or Al's the boss. No. They're all the boss. I'm the servant, right? Isn't it crazy how it works? I'm serving them. I am here. And when we have that reciprocal energy and that respect and rapport, it's not about labels or tags where, I'm the leader or boss or they're the leader or boss. We are building this together, building a movement and building legacies that will have generational change and effect where, yes, we do change the world because guess what? We're recreating our world. And it's a world out of love and leadership in the right way with the right tools, the right path towards really setting the example for future generations. So when you and me are dead, when we're fucking buried, we actually still live on. Eternal life is us through them. Our consciousness might not be here. Who knows where it is? And that's not our problem. That doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. The energy we're installing and instilling into our children, those we care about, those we love, not even our children, those we influence, those in our circle, it lives on when you and me are gone. What an incredibly powerful thing. Like, how could you want any more than that? It's why it's high performance father. It's why it's real dad movement, because you and me are men. We are men in the modern world here to stand up against the bullshit of toxic masculinity, the bullshit of all the other fucking things that have attacked the family unit for fucking decades and tried to strip us of our power and pull us apart instead of actually nurturing, going, no, this is what a real man does. And this is how he applies leadership to his family. This is how he wears his pair of pants. And this is how his missus wears her pair of pants. This is how they work as a dynamic duo, both as individuals, as an intimate couple, and as parents leading the family in the household, to connect the family unit again. Not the piss weak bullshit that you see in the modern world or even in yesteryear of beat downs and suppressing emotions and the woman's roles in the fucking kitchen. That's all she does. I'm not one way or the other. What I'm saying is you apply a level of energy, focus and effort towards your own life and leadership by applying what you have inside of yourself, what's important for you out of love and leadership, and then communicating that to your others, your significant other, your children, your workers, your colleagues, your business, everything. All of the above. When you do this, mate, I promise you'll win. But what you need to do is have the real fad in your life. Investing, the only fad you should invest in. And I know I use different play on words and different ways to grab your attention, but it's important because this acronym of fad is important. Use whatever word you want. Even if you get one golden nugget out of this, of one specific cue that I said, apply it. Focus, accountability, direction. You need this, but you can't have this on your own. This is my point. It's very challenging, very hard. I'm not saying you need to give me a fucking call right now and say, Al, I need you. Can I sign up? But this is what naturally happens. When we do our coaching sessions, I do our one-to-one consults. I don't chase, convince, or try and sell. I know what we do. We do fucking phenomenally well. But what I do is I help pave the pathway for the man. And then if he wants it, mate, awesome. If you're a good fit, genuine and team player, unreal. Yeah, let's fucking dominate together. But ultimately, this is why I'm here, to help you apply action and change to your life now, irrespective of the inner circle of what we have in our programs. This is me sharing you parts of our program that you can apply now. Just that 1%, man. Just get that 1% moving forward. Above all else, always take action with this. Focus. Ask yourself, a bit of a review now as we wrap this up. It's been a solid session, good 35 minutes. I hope you enjoyed this and got a lot out of it. Let's do a quick review and wrap up. Both sides of the coin. Focus. Ask yourself, what am I focusing on that's working well for me and working really, really good and I enjoy? And it's important for me. Why is that working for me? How can I triple down on that? Because here's the hard part. When you're doing well, when you're under the pump or things change or the landscape changes, unfortunately, the first thing you give up is the thing that puts you in a position to be doing well in the first place, right? I do yoga, I train, I do this, I go for walks. As soon as you're on the pump, I don't need to do that. It's all right. I feel okay. I'll just look after the family or look after work. No, man, that's what's going to fuck you up. You're cutting away the thing that puts you in a position to be able to handle it. What are you focusing on that's helping you and you need to keep working on? What are you focusing on that's wasting time? Like it's wasting your life. You're never going to get it back. You will never get this time back. I don't know how many other ways to explain it. 1,000 minutes a day. If you're 50, cut that in half. You're 75. You know, like I'm pretty creative with this stuff. I'm not going to sit back and go, you got 24 hours a day, but this is powerful. What am I focusing on that I need to cut away? What's the dead wood? And then accountability. How am I staying accountable? Like you don't have to go get one of these Aura rings, but what am I tracking? Like where am I being real? Where am I finding the facts? Where am I pulling my head out of the fucking sand? Pulling things out from sweeping it under the rug, opening my eyes, not wanting that light bulb moment where I have no control. Where am I empowering myself with responsibility and ownership to go, shit, how am I staying accountable? Where am I staying accountable? What sort of accountability do I need? And why? Like, how does that work inside of my life? How does that help me move forward? Direction. So where's this focus and accountability taking me? And where can I rinse and repeat that to have the right direction in my life? That's the only fad that you need in your life. Focus, accountability, direction. Who is directing me? This is why I love what we do. When you come to me as a man looking to improve and change his life, you got a blank canvas. Like I need you to win for me to win, whether you're part of RDM or not, because this is fulfillment for me. This is our message. Take this fucking message, mate. Embody it. Live it, breathe it. This is your message as well. This is your life. You are a leader. You are worthy. Don't ever forget that. You are worthy and you do deserve this. So when it's looking at direction, it's asking yourself, well, where do I need to go? What do I need to do? What are the right things to do? How can I improve this? You know, what are the areas that I know that I'm pissing in the wind and I'm wasting time? What are the areas that are going to bring me back to center where I know I'm moving in the right direction? Focus, accountability, right direction, the right direction. Where do I need to focus my efforts most? And how can I track that through accountability? And how can I maintain a level of consistent, more often than not, none of us are perfect, but a level of consistent focus on the most important areas of my life. You know, like a golden nugget I got out of my last episode with Ken. You know, you got to do an honest day's work for an honest day's pay. I was like, fuck yeah, man. I used to hear that all the time. I was like, I don't know, man, whatever. Yeah, I get that. I'm going to work hard and my time is valued at $18 an hour. Okay, I'm going to get that. I'm going to work 8 hours. I'm going to get fucking $200. It doesn't work that way. Where are you putting it? It's your whole life. And that's what I got from Ken. He might not have meant that, right? But it is his philosophy. So I'm sure he did. But for me, I interpreted that as, well, am I doing an honest day's work inside of my marriage so I can get an honest day's pay back from my fucking wife and how we connect together? Am I doing an honest day's work for these men on the inside? Am I doing an honest day's work for you to get an honest day's pay of fulfillment, reward, and contribution and achievement inside of what we do? Am I doing an honest day's work on my family with my children? Am I being honest and working on my children to get that payback? Not expectations of them, but payback inside of myself in fulfillment and the reward and knowing that I'm a good father. I'm a fucking great father, and I am. That's a very powerful thing. So I hope you got some golden nuggets out of this episode where you can apply some of the words that I've been speaking to your own life and having that real direction and structure. Because like I said, you come to me as a blank canvas with this direction. I'm not your brother, your cousin, your sister, your mother, your father. I don't have any biased version or opinion or agenda towards who you are or what I want from you other than you to win, other than your victory. That's all I want for these guys. And the guys on the inside know that. Like, I bleed for these men. We all do. The coaches and I, it's not a one-man band. The coaches and I move mountains with and for these men. And it's awesome. Like, why would you want it any other way? Once you achieve a certain standard or level of performance, that's just your baseline. Strive for that excellence, man. Keep pushing for that excellence in your life, because you know when you reach a baseline of performance, you know when you dip under that line, it hurts you. It chips away at you. It pulls you down because you're like, I know I can do better. I know I can be more. This is regret. But on the other side of that coin is growth. Which side of the coin are you having showing up? Which one's shining up more often than not? Which is why I love what we do. So when I built out Platinum, I'm like, fuck, this is the standard now, man. How do we apply these Aura rings? And how do I convince the guys in the gold group to go, hey, get your ring. Let's track your sleep. Let's track your heart rate variability. Let's track your readiness scores. Let's look at your temperature. Let's look at your latency. Are you doing 3 minutes of breath work before you go to sleep to have a phenomenal sleep? This is the evolution. How can I now have this trickle down into the other programs? Because this becomes our standard, which is why we don't stop. It's why this is the best program and the best pathway movement for fathers, because we continually strike the top, not with words and fluff and motivation. I'm all for that, and I'm great at that. I can motivate the fuck out of you. But ultimately, backing that up with data, action, tools, systems, processes, and habits to create championship habits to have a championship life. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Dive on in, take action, have that review inside of yourself, focus, accountability, direction.